Hello, beautiful souls. Today, I am here with another episode of Taku Talks, and I will be discussing you and your lizard brain, aka the limbic system. Cool, let's go. So, the brain has three different systems that interact with each other, connecting everything to everything else, working together, all that jazz. But the one that I'll be going over today is our limbic system, aka lizard brain. And what exactly is lizard brain? So, to make a very long and detailed answer short, it's the part of the brain that has to do with our fight or flight, freeze, eating and sex, the short-term pleasure shit pretty much. Which also tells us that that's where we get our dopamine from. And in today's society, it's more than clear that dopamine has our lives by a chokehold, a strong ass fucking chokehold. Especially considering the fact that tech and civilization in general has evolved much faster than we've been able to adapt. So we can see this in the fact that self-discipline has become so rare that it looks like magic when we see someone else, have it, and then we think to ourselves, man, that just seems so impossible. They're able to do that every day. It's a hard, weight loss, which is very hard. Eating healthy is very hard because the food can be taste worse or be bland, but it's healthy. But because it's bland, it's hard to do and hard to stick with. So stuff that requires being consistent is hard in this day and age. Because as time passes, it seems more and more things appeal to short-term gratification. So it's everywhere. And people just find it easier and safer to avoid those new scary risks, to the point of nausea. And even knowing that, we'll get nauseous, we do it anyway, time and time again, because our brain just needs that last bite. Even though that last bite was like 7 bites ago. So, yeah. When was the last time you told yourself or decided that you were starting something new or trying to avoid doing something wouldn't benefit you at all? And when you said that to yourself, how loud were the voices that wanted you to stay in your comfort zone? It's always loud. How much did it try to convince you that you didn't have what it took, to start eating healthy, to start dieting, to start going to the gym, that walk, how hard did it say, I want to do this? And your brain goes, nope, we ain't doing that shit, it's too hard, or, it requires effort. Yeah, you're right. And it felt as if your brain really was fighting, wasn't it? Like, you could feel that shit. So at this point, it's 2021, and I'm sure we've all heard of Jordan Peterson. In 2018, he came with a book called 12 Rules for Life, and one of those rules he mentions is making your bed and cleaning your damn room. And it sounds simple as fuck, right? And it is, until you realize you have to do it every single day, consistently, even on those days you just don't fucking feel like it. We've all had those days, where we see a shirt or just a single sock on the floor and we say, I'll get it later. And we never do. Which then eventually gets us into the habit of telling yourself, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. When that later never fucking comes. And then when you do actually get to it, the floor is already full. It's like, damn, again? That I'll do it later is a huge part of where a lot of us screw ourselves. What we're doing, actually, that energy, we're taking it and redirecting it into non-action, which just builds and builds into the smallest things, like folding your laundry, seeming like it's the hardest thing ever. I see that all the time on Facebook, Instagram and shit, folks saying laundry, how they'll get it and put it on their bed and almost do it and then lay down like, ugh. It's like, come on, guys. Doing laundry is not actually that hard at all. It just seems that way because let's be fucking honest. A lot of us have conditioned ourselves into a state of perpetual laziness. A lot of us are just lazy, and if that had you feel kind of way, good, because then you know there's an area of your life you need to work on. So after reading deeper into the idea of making your bed and what it really means to be consistent, that's what I began doing every single day. And I put an emphasis on every single day because at first there were several days, often, where I wanted to say screw it and just get on with my day, get up out of bed, get to work and all that. But I assumed it wouldn't hurt, and eventually it actually did. What was just once turned into every other day, and then eventually I just started to fall off entirely with my damn bed. I told myself, I would do it every day. Fell off so fucking fast. But after that is when I told myself I'd make my bed every damn day, period, no excuses. And if I don't, it's on me. There ain't no, I'm depressed or we do that with everything that seems hard. We say, I can't do it because of this, or I'll push it off because of that. We all do it. So after 3 weeks or so of that consistently, I was like, it's easy. So then I kept doing that, but then also added or doing my dishes. I'd eat, had a dish that I used, and immediately after being done using it, I washed it so that way the dishes wouldn't pile up. Because when I began this part of the journey, I was still very, very depressed, and it consumed me very, very easily. Like the moment I felt it coming, even if it was a day or two in advance, like, shit, here it comes, and then that alone would get me in a shitty ass mood, which would then have it come faster. It's just a circle of bullshit. So, and then even that, after doing it for a few weeks consistently every time, even when I didn't feel like it, the dish became a habit. It wasn't a chore anymore. It was just, I ate, I used the dish, now I'm washing it, put it up. That was it. And then eventually, like, oh shit, I'm forming new habits, and it's nothing. Because at some point they became ingrained in my mind. I didn't realize they became habits and routines on the low. Honestly, they weren't a drag, a chore. They were just things that had to be done. They were responsibilities. Not all of them though, because it actually turns out that I actually enjoy doing and folding laundry. I actually enjoy doing dishes. They're very meditative. So with realizing this came a newfound confidence. I felt confident as fuck after these new habits became routine and just regular ass things. And this confidence that I felt, I've literally only ever experienced when I'm doing MMA and fighting. So although they were very small steps, very small changes, they felt as if I had just done a marathon. I felt just great. And what started out as small, it just gained momentum as I kept up with the consistency. That's all it takes, is being consistent, doing it, and then be consistent over and over and over. So although I was still very, very much depressed at this time, anxiety and shit, like I was having anxiety attacks. Like I was bad, but I was still trying because I was tired of my own shit. But so even though I was depressed, I still felt now that I could do whatever I put my mind to. I just had to actually fucking do it. So what started with making my bed and doing dishes then turned into having my room clean and making sure to maintain it daily, to the meditating and journaling every fucking day. Mental wellness is a huge factor in what helps to propel you forward, because you can pick up all the habits you want, but if your head is still trying to fight with you, you won't feel, that you're getting anything done. You'll still feel like shit. You'll be like, man, I'm really not good enough to do all this. I really ain't got what it takes. So that's why mental well-being and wellness is just as important as forming these new habits. It's just as important. It's exactly why you can be poor and happy, but be wealthy and just miserable. You need that mental. So for a whole year, while building self-discipline and trusting myself, I was learning and getting familiar with myself, my brain, and befriending it. And I say befriending because a lot of us have hostility towards our minds, which is understandable. We don't like those unpleasant thoughts, those intrusive thoughts, always questioning why we're so, drawn to shit that's so bad for us, stuff that's so self-destructive, self-defeating, and limiting. Just, we need to give ourselves a break, honestly. You've been through enough, but you keep putting more and more shit on your plate. Come on, guys, we need a break, So, thanks to all that studying, all that introspection, my brain became my ally and no longer a nuisance. Now it's much, much easier to upload videos. It's much easier to do my articles daily, journal daily, practice my music and art. Just things that I before said, oh, I'll just do it when I feel like it. You know how that goes. I'll do it when I feel motivated to, I'll do it when I feel the inspiration. And I had that in my mind, and I ended up never fucking doing them. That's why I would only do like an article once like a month, if that, a video once every few weeks. Like, I was doing things very inconsistently. But once you enter into the domain that is self-discipline and consistency, you look back and cringe at the old you. But it also gives you a ton of appreciation for all the time and work you put in, all the frustration and shit you went through, and all of the times you wanted to give up. You're like, man, I fucking did it. I'm right here. It was hard, but I did it. And because you did it, you have a newfound gratitude for life in general. And although you really do feel like you can do basically anything, it's not from a place of arrogance or being cocky. It comes from now being able to trust yourself, knowing you're yourself accountable for whatever you choose to do. And you know that you will do it, and you can do it. So that's all it is. Starting, and then once you start, you got that momentum and consistency. Well, that's the video. Got any comments? Anything at all to say? Where you are on your journey of improving, elevating? Put it down below. Let me know what you think. See you next video. Peace.